Perfect. So we are here. We're back. I haven't done a show since August. And we are here with the infamous, semi-controversial John the Goob Dorsey. And running sound over here,
Whoop, whoop.
it's Ross, Flavorgang, Flanigan.
Yes, thank you for having us.
No, thanks, man. Thanks for coming on. Yeah, I've been so pumped for this. Like, I just knew it'd be fun. And so, kind of jumping right into the heat of things, you got a lot of notoriety and have kind of gotten your public view for calling people out. And that's how I initially like saw you and everything. And I think it's awesome. I think it's funny. So what made you just go, all right, this is enough. I'm going to start calling people out.
To me, it's never like I'm calling them out. I'm just like, I just want to be a truthful guy.
Uh-huh.
You know, to me, it's like when I do a video, I never feel like I'm calling them out. It's like if somebody posts my truth, I don't have a problem with it. It could be something really bad, but it's the truth. And, you know, it sucks. Maybe sometimes you got to post an apology, but it's something I've always done. I used to do it if somebody ever followed any of my old accounts. It's like in the stories, and the story goes away in 24 hours. And I don't know why, but I had something that was like longer than I could do in a 10-second story. It was more than a screenshot. It was this girl named Saidana, who was coached by a friend of mine. And she posted a little before and after, and it was like, I had just gotten into photography. I knew a little bit about lenses and like barrel distortion, and I'm learning all these like cool tips and tricks.
Because you come with receipts.
Yeah. And so I'm looking at these two photos. This girl's got a before and an after. And one she's shot in like a normal lens, and one she used a wide angle lens. And I'm like, all right, you're a girl. You're selling fitness programs to grow your ass and shrink your waist. Mm-hmm. And in your after photo, you're using a wide angle lens. That's fucked. And I was like, this is wrong. And so I like post a thing and like I recorded. It was like the shittiest video I ever recorded. It like my format's down now, but it was like, not like that.
John,
and
move
I
your
was
mic up a little bit.
Move my mic up.
No, it's good. Yeah, it sounds good.
Yeah. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, hey, lady, like you fucked this up. Send me the receipts. Send me the exit data. And if I'm wrong, like I'll send this money to this charity that I love, St. Jude. And if you're wrong, you owe the money to St. Jude. They get paid anyway. What's up? She told me I was wrong. She told me I was a fucker. And I was like, I'm not wrong. And she's so confident that she's not wrong. I think she just didn't even realize what she did, but like it was very misleading. And so she actually sends me these photos. And I'm like, like it's right here. Except that it don't lie. It tells you like one's a wide angle, one's a native lens.
So for people that don't know, what is that? What is an exit data?
Exit data. So like it's the receipt for a photograph. So for instance, if I pull up my phone right now, boom, I snap a photo of you right now, it's going to tell me the location, the time, and of these three lenses, which of them I used, what my ISO is set at, what my f-stop was set at, how big the aperture was, all that shit. And it's going to log that like in time. People get caught online for shit like this, like doing crimes, because they'll post a photo of some shit, and the cops go, whoa, okay, let's get the original, okay. And it's like a timestamp. It records everything. That moment in time, where you were, what happened, and all that. And so it also records, so for instance, say you take a photo and you want to look more jacked, and you pop it into Facetune, right? You're going to save it out of Facetune. If I say, yo, send me that photo, I want to see the EXIF data to see if it's an original. You're going to send me the thing. I'm going to pull up the EXIF data. It's going to say Facetune. It's not going to say shot on iPhone with the, you know, the wide angle lens or the native lens or whatever. It's just going to say Facetune. And then I go, yo, send me the raw. And you're going to say, oh, I deleted it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to call
my favorite one I saw was like, my mom sent me these.
Jake Collins. Fucking Collins. Yeah. I was, yo, send me the originals. Well, these are the ones my mom sent me. Like, your mom photoshopped them, bro?
Yeah. I mean, I learned from your page how to look bigger. Was that the crop, and then you like swipe it, and then it like angles your whole body.
Yeah. That's the way to defeat me, though. I mean, it was until I cracked that shit. It took me a while. But that was, if you had sent me that photo, the EXIF data wouldn't show that. It would just show that it was still the same thing. And you know, I couldn't replicate it. But I found in Photoshop how to like change the aspect ratio back. What we're talking about right now, if you're looking at this and wondering, you shoot something on the iPhone, you click the edit button, and there's like a crop at the bottom. You click crop, and then you slide it to the left or to the right. And depending on where you're standing in the photo, you can make yourself look way wider.
Yeah.
And it's like basically free points if you want to be a douchebag, I guess.
So I guess coming back to like the original question too, it's like, why? What was the reason behind making this kind of your page, your personality, like what you're now known for is exposing people.
It was an accident, man. Because I coach people. What I do for a living, I coach bodybuilders, I coach lifestyle people. And I just put a couple of these videos up because I never made a reel before. I'm old. I was like, I don't know what a fucking reel is. I don't know how to work. Phil Viz called me and he said one day, he's like, hey, you need to do your stories that you do on your story thing on your page, but use green screen. I'm like, Phil, what the fuck is green screen? I don't know what any of this shit is. And he actually recorded and showed me how to do it because he had just gotten a TikTok and somebody showed him. And he's like, I think there's something on Instagram you can do it too. And that was right before I did that video. And I posted it, and all these people are messaging me, and they're like I did it because I was like, fuck this girl, like this is stupid, like fuck you. You're
Just call him up.
And I was like, well, St. Jude got paid. $1,000 went to St. She didn't.
She actually paid?
No, she didn't pay. But I was like, yo guys, let's pay her bill for her too. And so I put it on my story, and I was like, I'll post another video like this if you guys get to $1,000. And I was like, this is never gonna happen. Like I don't have to record another video. I put my phone down, I take the dog for a walk, I come up and I'm like $1,500. People are tagging me, so nobody knows what the total is, right? But they're like, oh, I sent 100, oh, I sent 50. I have like 30, 40 of these messages. And I was like, fuck, we're at like $1,500. So this kid named Niles Cruz was in Ross. Who the fuck is Niles Cruz?
The OG.
He's the
of Photoshop.
Dude, the OG of Photoshop. I've like a lot of these stories that get sent to me today, I don't know who these people are until I get sent the story. But at the time, I was like, well, I know who this. I'm promised these guys another video. They sent $1,500 to a charity that I chose.
John, I've got a quick question.
Sir.
Out of all your victims, has any of them ever paid to a charity?
Yes.
Who?
It's ironic. Charity Wit. Oh. Charity Wit.
Sharing the name.
Was the only one that paid. And I'll tell that story in a minute. Yeah. Because there's a little twist and turn to it. But she actually paid. And
you don't want to say that for the Gooby?
It's already it's public.
Oh, okay.
It's public, but she did pay. She did pay. But anyway, so I'm like, I get sent these things, but this guy, like, I knew him. I've known him for like years and years and years. And the way he looks in person and the way he looks online, it's like he doesn't even try. And he gets away with it somehow. He gets clients. He's like a coach. He was like kind of well known for a little bit, and then he fell off a little bit. But I was like, all right, well, I guess I owe another video. And so I get back, from walking my dog. I'm like, all this money's been sent. All right, I'm gonna record it. And I recorded the Niles Cruz video, and like it was just a snowball. People are like, what are you doing tomorrow? I'm like, what the fuck do you mean I'm doing tomorrow? Like I'm.
Well, I think what separated you from people is not only did you put your face on it, and not only do you come with like crazy evidence, but you're tagging them and like you're like putting their name in there when so many people nowadays are very passive and they're just like, so and so, or don't want to be like these types of people. You like put them in like the bio and tag them. I've never seen anyone do it before. It's crazy.
Well, it's like I want you to know that I know. Like I don't want to just I don't know. It's like. If you're that, the way I think about it, if you're that mad about the truth, because I'm never lying. Yeah. I won't do a story if I'm not sure. So if I'm doing something, I probably have a little more. And sometimes there's a little behind the scenes where I know you did something really fucked up. And this is like the surface level, like you Photoshop, but you're a fucker and I know what else is about you. And so if I'm tagging your truth and you're upset about it, like be upset with yourself. Yeah. Don't be upset with me. I didn't do this shit. I didn't Photoshop it. I didn't rob this person. I didn't steal. I didn't do this shit. Like this guy, Evan Cardon. I don't know if you saw the story.
I haven't seen it yet.
He, one of my friends, Arland, does these decoy things. He's like To Catch a Predator, but like 2022. Oh, yeah. And he makes these little like 15-year-old boy and girl accounts, fake, and just follows these influencers. Just follows them, likes their photos. Maybe will leave a comment here and there. And then they DM him. And once they DM him, he starts recording. And he got Evan Cardon talking to this 16-year-old girl. And I blew him up about it. And Evan's on. He makes a YouTube video. Oh, it wasn't that big of a deal. 16's legal in North Carolina. This is like a 28-year-old man. Lives with his mother. And he's saying this shit. I was like, damn. So I posted that. He's mad at me. Like, he's mad at me. Like, how are you mad at me, bro? You're the one talking to children. Fuck.
I know. It's, what do you think, like, what was the initial feedback like when you first started doing that? Like, did you get, like, a more positive or was it more negative?
I've had like literally 10 total people tell me to fuck myself about this that weren't the person I did a story about, but everybody else is like super positive about it. People think like it's a very negative thing, like I get hate all the time, but like I don't know if it's because people don't want to be featured or if because they like it or there's something in between, but like nobody gives me hate about this.
No, and I mean they really shouldn't because I've watched plenty of those videos and I think personally they're hilarious, which I've gotten shit for because when I've told a couple of my friends that you were coming on they were like, well, isn't that the whole basis of what awesome fitness community is like like giving people a day in recognition? Like, kind of, but I give everyone a day, and they're the ones that submit the photos. Like, I'm not going to put the time in to like vet them to see what's edited and not. But, you know, I always have talked about on the show, I've been big on authenticity, you know, not highlighting. One thing you can watch on any of the shows I've talked about is I get tired of this over sexualized materialistic, you know, display that represents the health and wellness industry. And you seem to be calling those people out that, like, you know, oh, I have 100,000 followers or 500,000 or 1 million, and it's all just ass shots and this, and then they call themselves a trainer or an athlete. And
that happens all the fucking time. I'll have like, I trolled the fuck out of Bang Energy when I first started doing these. People thought I was sponsored by Bang because I'd start a video and I'd go Bang, as an open Bang. Yeah. Take his drink, and then I'd say, got another one for you guys. And I'd tag Bang Energy in all of them, and I'd send it to them and be like, fuck you. Like, I'd send the Bang CEO guy, I'd send him like the nasty, like, go fuck yourself. I hate you.
Are they getting sued for super creatine lies?
Yeah, I think they're probably, you know, the days are numbered. Yeah. But they used to, back in the day, I remember 2015, 2016, Arnold, it's Bang. They got actual athletes. They got superstars with them. The girls dancing and all that. But they're all like fitness people. And nowadays, it's like, every girl that edits the fuck out of her ass and waist is a Bang model. They call them like the Bang elite models or whatever. And I was like, all right, I need like one company to like troll to oblivion. Like, and I was like, Bang. I was like, okay, damn. Their CEO's cringy as hell. All their girls edit their shit, and there's like an endless supply of them. And so I just did like Bang athlete after Bang athlete after Bang athlete. I was literally just at in Texas. What's that show called, Ross?
Butthole Classic.
Oh, God. The Europa, right?
Dallas Europa.
Yeah, I was at the Dallas Europa, and I walked up to the C4 booth. We were like grabbing free shit and whatever, and the guy comes up to me and he's like, "Hey man, like, you know, we watched your shit and we were gonna like contact you, but we thought you were sponsored by Bang." And now we know you're not. And I was like, oh my God. I didn't realize, like, I thought everybody got that I was trolling and just fucking with them. But people would DM me and be like, yo, I got a Bang today. Or like tag me in a story of them like cracking open a can. I was like, no, fuck them. Like,
I'll start doing that.
Yeah. I was like, damn, fuck them.
Oh, man. So I wonder if that asks the question that, you know, if these brands should start vetting their sponsored athletes more.
Fuck yeah, they should. And me and Ross are actually coming out with a service that we're going to offer where you got an athlete and you're not sure if they're bullshit, you're going to send it to us and we're going to tell you whether or not.
Vet them out.
Yeah, we're going to have a vetting service. It's going to something we're going to launch after our award show, but it's like First Form. You guys know First Form.
Oh, yeah.
The brand. They had a huge controversy with photoshopping their athletes. Now, First Form's not the only one. And they felt a little called out. And yeah, they should feel a little called out.
I was talking about having the guy that owns First Form on the show. Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, they do it. I went after them because I watch Frisella's stuff. I actually like and I respect Andy Frisella.
Yeah.
I love his stuff. And I went after them because all their athletes, not all their athletes, but a lot of their athletes Photoshop. And I thought that they would change. A lot of these other companies, Bang. I shit on them for like months. Nothing. The guy he actually blocked me because I would just send him the video every time I do one of his athletes, and he just blocked me eventually.
Today's episode was brought to you by Austin Barbell. More than just a gym, a barbell club. Austin Barbell is open to aspiring athletes of all skill levels. They offer an in-person group format training classes for any skill level. This includes beginners without experience, just beginning strength training, or advanced athletes looking to gain a competitive edge. Austin Barbell's objective is to grow the sport of Olympic weightlifting and make it accessible to everyone. They have a scaled approach to strength training. The coaching team includes nationally accredited coaches, a former Soviet Olympian, and nationally ranked competitors. I've personally seen these athletes in action, and their Ollie lifting strength program is 100% ideal for all athletes, including CrossFit, powerlifting, and bodybuilding. Train alongside national competitors and beginner athletes in a supportive team environment. Austin Barbell has 2 locations in North and South Austin. For more information, go to www.austinbarbell.com or check them out on Instagram at Austin Barbell.
But Frisella was like, he was heated about it. He was so pissed at me. But what eventually happened was they sent out contract renewals to all of their athletes after I did my first big video. and they said, there's a Photoshop clause. Sign this shit if you want to stay an
Smart.
athlete. And that wasn't it. That was awesome. Like, that was cool. But then I put it to the test because I had some other athletes that still were on the roster that had now signed these clauses. And I was like, well, was it worth anything? I did one story on, it was either like Kim Russo or not Charity. Maybe it was Charity Witt, actually.
The one with the Jeep.
Charity Witt. It was Charity Witt. I did a story on Charity Witt, and I was like, she signed the contract. I know. Okay. Did it. And I pointed out, I was like, they signed contracts. Yo, is she like still here? They dropped her.
Oh, shoot.
And I was like, wow, that's beautiful. And that's like what I'm not here to like troll or like fuck with people, but it's like, yo, be authentic.
Yeah.
And there's these big companies, and it trickles down. Your First Form, your Bang, your, whatever, MPA, like you're setting the tone of the industry that we're in. If the fucking companies that build the industry that we're in are all shitbags, we're all gonna be shitbags.
Yeah.
But if they hold these people to super high standards, we're probably not a bad group of people.
Yeah, and I mean these labels, these brands, they build their whole company off of like, take our products to feel better and this and that. And it's like, every brand from the beginning of time has always used and displayed like attractive people or people in shape or, just the muscular figures, which is great. But, then when you start, it's one thing, I think, to like use someone that's probably like running gear or things like that to be the poster model of your brand. But it's another when you start photoshopping.
Yeah, it's like just take them as they are because as a general rule, they're probably better looking or better in shape than 99% of the people. Everybody that's looking at this ad, unless it's the guy in the ad himself, is probably in worse shape than him. You really don't got to make it worse. You're stacking the deck a little too hard. And a lot of the time, these companies and brands just don't know, but they've also not gone through any protections or means or remedies to make sure it doesn't happen. And so that was awesome when I saw Frisella do that. I was like,
Photoshop clause is a good idea.
And like I'm like, that's why I was poking that bear. Like I chose carefully. Like the first story I did was on a lower level First Form athlete. And Frisella actually contacted me. He sent me this big voice message where he's like, yo, we took care of it. We got rid of her, blah, blah, blah. She took it out of the bio. And that was like a low level. He didn't know this, but I was kind of playing chess. I had 4 of his other athletes that were his headline people that I didn't drop a story on yet. And I was like, okay. I did a video. She's editing. They released her. I was like, well, let's see what happens when I call out like his,
bigger names,
the Corvettes of his company. And so I did, and nothing happened. And that's why I rode them so hard, because I was like, yo, like, you gotta.
Well, yeah, at a point, it's also a business move. Like, you can't expect these guys to get rid of people that might actually be bringing them a profit and money. So with like, I'm thinking so many questions, but one of the ones is, what would you say to people that, because anytime you do a feature on someone, I always go to see if there's a reaction from them. And they all tend to usually have the same thing. Like, some people just don't have anything else to do with their life, or some people just have, just want to hate, things like that. What would you say to people that are more critiquing what you do, but from a negative aspect, that are like, this guy needs to get a life, or what's his problem, things like that?
I mean, I say it to them all the time. I say, this isn't hate. This is just your reality. And if it's hate, then your reality is something that you hate. So, like, just change it. Don't do this. Like, they could all get rid of me and never interact with me ever if everybody just stopped editing their shit, scamming, lying, and stealing. Like, that's all I do. I do thieves. I do liars. I do people that fake cancer. I do, the child molesters of the industry. And I do the people that Photoshop. And if you guys don't do any of that shit, I disappear. Like, I beg them all the time, take my power. Professionally, I make all of my money coaching athletes.
Yeah.
I make $0 doing this
Has
shit.
doing this affected your coaching at all?
Yeah, I get a lot more.
It's made more?
I mean, I get millions of impressions on my page every month. So it's like just more people looking, more people willing to, before I'd get like 5,000 clicks on my profile or on my website in a year. Yeah. And now I get like 5,000 in like 2 weeks. So it's like a little different, I raise my prices just a little bit because there's more volume coming in, like that type of thing. Yeah. So like it hasn't affected my business in a negative way. It's affected my business in a positive way, which is nice. But like I don't actually make money doing it. And I would be so happy going back to like having no followers at all and having my roster of dudes and doing that. But the industry is still fake. It's still fake. So it's just like, guys, if you stop, if they think what I'm doing is hate, then just stop what you're doing and see if I still hate. If I found something about you that's totally valid and I'm just hating on you for it, like, cool. You won't find a single video of me out there talking about something where it's just off the wall. It's not, they're conning, they're lying, they're stealing. I just did a story on a kid where it's like his Instagram photos, he looks like fucking Chris Bumstead. And on stage, he looked like
I saw that one. Yeah. Weren't you at that show too?
I was
so
there.
You got to see him.
Yeah, I saw him in person. I'm like, These kids, I didn't know who he was, but these kids in the audience were like, yo, they knew who I was. They're like, do you know this kid? Like, we think he photoshops. And I was like, oh, yeah, somebody sent me his profile. Like, I recognized one photo of him, like, in a bathroom, like, where his shoulders are, like, crazy. Like, the kid looked fucking pro-level men's physique.
Just
shit.
yoked.
Yeah, like, he looked like Jeremy Potvin. Like, crazy shit.
Like Jeremy.
Yeah, it was just funny. Jeremy actually commented on the video. And I was thinking, I was like, this kid looks like Potvin here. And he commented. But I was like, all right, we'll see when this kid comes out. And we knew he was in classic physique. And they all walk out. And we're like getting, and I'm like, that kid's got his face, but not his body. I was like, is that his
little brother?
Yeah. I was like, is it his little brother or something? Like, what's going on? So I snapped some photos, and I was like, I know what I'll do. Like, I'll get home. I'll go look at his profile. He's got a tattoo or something somewhere, and I'll link it up. And I put some side-by-sides, and I'm like, he's got the same tattoos. This is the kid. I couldn't fucking believe it, bro. I could not believe it. It made no sense. I was like, damn, there's no way. And the kid, you know, that kid, he's like the example of what not to do. He didn't say, yeah, guys, I post deceptive photos of myself, blah, blah, blah. He's like, my coach did this, my coach did that, blaming the coach. Coach comes back, shows all these crazy photos of the kid, or screenshots of their conversations where the kid's saying, like, he binge ate, and then he would purge, make himself throw up, 2 hours of cardio a day, like, all this crazy shit.
So crazy to me. Well, and, you know, I think, not to, like, defend their actions, but I think just a lot of it today is just, you know, societal pressure, especially with the growth of social media and how it's affected the fitness industry, where there's this unrealistic demand to look a certain way and be a certain way. And, you know,
agree.
And it's really sad. I guess that's probably the best word to describe it, because I see people and they're just recycling the same stuff. Like, they want to just ride the coattails of a previous success. And it's like, there's no more authenticity. There's no more, like, originality. It's this sad, you know, expectation to look a certain way and do all this. And I think in a way you're kind of like holding them accountable. And
one of my rules is, like, because I believe that. I totally believe that. And I in full think that is the truth, that these people are being influenced to do this and this, that. But my rule is, like, I won't go after small accounts. Sometime there was a girl, Lydia Knoll, she faked having cancer. I was like, all right, I don't care. You could have 3 followers. It's your ass if I figure this shit out.
Yeah.
But everybody else, it's like, I did one time. There's one video. People ask me, like, you ever delete videos? I deleted one video and only one video. All the evidence I received was screenshots that somebody sent me. I actually never went to the girl's profile because she was private, and she had like 2,000 followers. And I posted the video, and it was like a Photoshop. She like photoshopped her stage photos. And this girl DMs me, like, super nice. And she's like, I'm in tears right now. I can't believe you did this video. My profile's private. I'm not an influencer. I'm the influenced. And I was like, let me check. I click. I was like, she has 2,000 followers. She's private. Like, what the fuck am I doing? And I deleted that video, and I actually got her on a live with me, and sort of like we talked about it, and I made an apology to her because I was wrong there. Yeah. But everybody else you see me doing, they're the ones that are influential. So, like, yeah, these people, yeah, maybe they were influenced by somebody else, but now you're in a position of power. Use it for good. This 18-year-old kid that he did at the show, there's kids that look up to him. And they're like, damn, he's 18. He looks like that. I look like, I look like an 18-year-old kid on stage that's a little malnourished. And then, like, okay, guys, I show you. You know how many kids reached out to me after seeing his stage shots, and they're like, wow, he looks just like me. Like, no shit. He's 18, bro.
Yeah.
How long do you think what magic happened here? They're like, I thought he was 220 solid. Like, no, bro, he's.
So where do you draw a line, I guess? Like, is there a place where you, like, you get profiles sent to you and you start seeking out and you're just like, that's not really worth it? Like, for example, like if someone just throws Instagram filters on their picture, or just kind of like brushes and stuff like that, or is there a certain profile that fits the mold? That
it's for me, it's, you know, they're selling something, they're marketing something, or they're affiliating with a big company, not like one of those shitbag companies that sponsors everybody.
Like Flavorgang.
Like Flavorgang. No, there's companies out there that do I can't remember, but there's a few of them where, like, First Form was one of them. I don't know if there's still one, but like they'd give a code to fucking a dog if it had an Instagram profile. Like, they wouldn't care. There were a ton of companies like that. I wouldn't go after people like that were like, oh, I'm a sponsored athlete by like 63 brands. They sell 6 t-shirts a year. Big sponsor, have some influence. Followers have to be there. But then there's things that can override that. Like, if you have, there was a guy who had a small profile on Instagram but a big profile on TikTok. I'm coming for you, bro, because he was stealing. His name was Cooking for Gains, and he was literally just robbing people. They would send him money for a training program, $65 or $100.
Cookie cutter.
No, he would never even send it. Like, that's the thing.
Shit.
Like, I don't care. If you're a shitty coach, whatever. I really don't give a shit. Some people suck at their job. It's the consumer's duty to, like, eventually figure that out. As long as they're sending something and interacting, whatever. I don't care. I get that all the time. They're like, this coach didn't do, their job the right way. I'm like, well, then don't use them again. I'm not doing a story on this guy. Just don't fucking use them again. But if they robbed you, like, yeah, come. And so this guy, he was just robbing people, like, scalping them, bro. Like, no ifs, ands, or
Would you
buts
just, like,
about it.
block them after the...
Yeah. They'd be like, can I have my money back? Can I have my program? Like, a lot of these kids would be like, can I just have the help? Like, these people want help. They came here for help.
Why don't you share the story of what that girl said at Factory Gym the other day?
Oh, fuck. We walk into Factory Gym, which is an excellent fucking
Our boy
facility,
Brian's
by the way.
gym. I love that place. Yeah.
Brian, amazing facility. Thanks for having us.
And Gigi. Brian and Gigi.
The best.
We're not
love that.
shitfluencers, by the way. We happily paid the day rate.
Oh, I did.
We, meaning Ross, happily paid the day rate because we don't expect nothing from anybody. But we walk in and I get in, and this girl comes up to me and she's like, "Hey, I want to say thank you." And I was like, "For what?" Like, what?
Avatar isn't a diet. It's not a cleanse, detox, or shortcut. It's a revolutionary new way of eating. With Avatar, nutrition is tailored specifically for you. You'll check in every week to update us on your progress, and the system changes your nutrition to match. With simple goals to hit, you're right on track every week for sustainable, unstoppable progress. Tracking your diet becomes part of your lifestyle. You enter what you eat, and Avatar counts the protein, carbs, and fat. The macros count down with every meal, and all you have to do is zero them out. We make it simple. No matter how hectic your day gets, Avatar lets you stay flexible. You can eat what you want. As long as you hit your targets, you'll still reach your goal. No system is easier to use. And you're not in it alone. Real people are ready to answer your questions whenever you need. Our community is thousands strong and growing. Whether you're 18 or 80, whether you're ready or not, we've got your back. This isn't a diet. This is a way of life. Eat what you want. Feel great about it. Period. Forever starts here. Welcome to the revolution.
What I do? She's like, "You refunded my money," and I was like, "You were my client?" Like, she's like, "No, that guy Cooking for Gains robbed me, and you sent me my money back." I was like, "Oh, okay." Because what I do usually on the stories is just to kind of rub it into these assholes. I'm like, I sent their money back for them. What do you think?
Yeah.
And so I rounded up anybody who had contacted me about that story, and just kind of to incentivize future stories and to give them a shot to go hire somebody else. I'll send their money back. And then I tell this person, go fuck yourself. I refunded all your clients. You're a piece of shit. And
You're doing the most.
usually it gets a little bit of, the kid, he said, "Oh, I'm changing," but I heard some things recently. Cooking for Gains, if you're watching this.
Coming for you.
Yeah.
You got
I
a
will find
Gooby
you.
on the way. You better. You got one chance if you watch. I'm gonna send this podcast to
Also
you.
has a great voice. You could do movie trailers.
It's actually my dream. My dream to be an actor of some sort.
Can I get the Goobies?
Yeah. Yeah, let's jump into that. So
December 6th,
here we go.
New Braunfels, Texas. John Goob Dorsey and Ross the Sauce Boss Flanigan.
This is a great voice.
It's phenomenal.
Shitfluencers.
Yeah.
We will find you. We will expose you.
So the Gooby Awards. What exactly are the Goobies?
So we were looking. I've done like 400 videos.
Yeah.
That's a lot of enemies. And we were like, what do we do with this? Like, this is a whole catalog of stuff. I have all the videos on my phone. What do we do with this? And Ross has the idea to do an award show. And I was like, nah. And then 2 weeks go by, and I call him, and I was like, yeah, actually, let's do this. And we just like quickly hung up. And that night, I looked up like a venue. I was like, well, what the fuck does it cost to do all this shit? Looked up a venue, looked up like a live stream guy. We put all the numbers together, and I was like, all right, well, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to send out some sponsorship packages to some companies. Everybody's going to tell us to go fuck themselves. Nobody will want to be associated with this. And then we'll lay it to rest.
Minutes
Like,
later.
Yeah.
and so I get all these companies that I know that like fuck with us a little bit, cool companies, Amino Asylum, Forever Young, Pat Pauly's Cookies, like those companies that I know. And I send them all like this crazy sponsorship package. Like I don't know what the fuck this shit is worth. I'm like, it's a 1-day event. Like we put like these crazy numbers on it, and all of them got back to us and we're like, yeah, we'd love to. And it's at this point we're like getting paid. We don't have a venue. We don't have anything. Anything. We just have like the videos. And so it was like a scramble. We have a venue. We got some guy doing a live stream. We've got 8 companies
Making
sponsoring
it as professional as possible.
ADS, yeah, ADL. It's
ADL.
like this is a
ADL?
Yeah.
Yeah.
ADL Pro Life. He's
I worked with him.
here in New Braunfels. Like we actually have to meet with him tomorrow. We're giving him some of our
Awesome
files
guy.
and stuff.
Yeah.
We just bought like a flat screen for the thing. We have a whole venue, like a whole stage setup
Yeah,
being
we're
built.
gonna have a TV mount, a rotating TV mount that looks like a cell phone.
So we
that's
can watch
dope.
the videos on the thing, and it's gonna be live stream too. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be absolute. But the idea was like, what is the I do a video on you.
Yeah.
A video sucks, but what really sucks is you get featured at the fucking Grammys of being a shitbag in the fitness.
So it's kind of like the Razzies, like
exactly.
for movies.
Yeah, it's like an
they do-
anti-influencer award show.
John, why don't you go over the premise and the mission of the Goobies?
The premise and the mission of the Goobies. I don't know. Ross, help me out.
You don't know the mission of your own?
I mean, I do, but like, give me your thoughts. Give me your thoughts, Ross. You think
To
too much about me.
simply restore the integrity and the health of the fitness community, because you alluded to this earlier
Yeah.
about how everything is like sexualized.
Well, and it's like I was telling him, any of us can appreciate a good thirst trap. Like that's not the problem I have. It's that it's become the poster, the face of health and wellness, which I totally disagree with. I don't think that should represent health and wellness. Like it's nothing. Like anyone can just post, break their hip and bend their back and look hot.
We want realness and integrity.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, you guys, you all are in health and wellness. Like when you tell somebody you're a diet coach, like does that hit that hard? Or people are like, oh, that weird fitness world where people like scam and steal and edit. Like I hate
A little
that.
slimy.
It's a little slimy. And
No,
it is slimy.
You have the nice car.
And when they
What do you
tell
do?
me that shit, they're right. When Ross drives here in his fucking C8 Corvette, nobody's thinking that he's a dude that made his own company on his own.
Yeah.
They're thinking he probably sells steroids, some dumb shit like that. Nobody's thinking the good shit about us, and that's a problem. I have a law degree. I went to law school, and everybody in law school is looking at me like I'm fucking a tree growing on my forehead because I told them I made this business, and I think I'm going to pursue that instead of being an attorney and sitting for the bar, and that's what I did. And I made a ton of money initially, more than I would have made the first 4 or 5 years of law school, sending emails, doing diet plans and shit like that. And nobody saw the value of that because the industry itself is like this scammy, scummy, backwards, fucked up place. And
So our mission is to restore that.
yeah.
And we're going to do that with the Goobies and some other projects as well.
Yeah.
So what categories are at the Goobys?
So we've got a ton of really fun categories. My favorite ones probably being the My Dog Ate My Homework, which is the worst. We had a kid who told us, like we were talking about earlier, oh, my mom sent me the photos.
Yeah.
One girl.
So just the worst excuses.
I shot it in portrait mode, and that's why my ass is headed and crooked. So we've got these like crazy excuses and shitty excuses. We've got the Golden Corset Award, which is the person who snatched their waist the craziest. Ross, what's your favorite award?
In terms of a name or
Yeah, the name.
what hits me the hardest?
Whichever.
I love the Weenie Hut Jr.
Weenie Hut Jr. Those are people who like beefed with me.
John, no, don't do that,
Oh, God.
Like I've had people, I'll sue you. I had somebody try to log into
Yeah,
my
I was
account.
going to ask you that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
all the time. Like all the fucking time. I'm going to sue you. My attorney's going to contact you. This one girl, she tells me, why are you doing a story on me? I'm just a normal person.
Oh, I love that.
And I was like, well, no, you have like 300,000 people. And she's like, you need to take the video down. It's harassment. And I was like, I'm going to post it to TikTok now. And she goes, now mind you, she just told me she's a normal person. And this girl goes, well, my manager's going to reach out to you. I'm like, you're a normal person with a social media? Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Like, come on, girl. Come on.
Well, and again, it all comes back to like, if you're not doing anything wrong, you got nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
And so with the Goobies, where's it at now?
It is in New Braunfels, Texas, in the New Braunfels Convention Center. It's on December 6th.
December 6th.
7 o'clock.
Yeah,
7
7 o'clock. So that this time, whatever Texas time is, 7 o'clock.
And live stream.
It's going to be
Yeah,
live stream.
ADL.
So there's a ton of people that aren't in the San Antonio and the New Braunfels and Austin area. So we're going to put it on live stream, and that'll be a week out from the event. You can buy that. But right now you could buy the tickets. Our website's triggereddrip.com, TRIGGERED drip DRIP.com. And you can go on there. It's $20. Show up. You're going to make your money back just by showing up. Flavorgang is giving away to the first 50 people that show up goodie bags. Their bowl of Gaines, and it's like $26 a bag.
Yep, and Gaines Bakery.
Yeah, you're getting free shit for literally showing up. We're not making money off this event. We don't want to make money off this event. We have a mission. We want to restore the fitness community. Yeah. Show the fuck up, and that's all we care about.
And have fun and laugh.
Literally have fun, laugh.
Do you expect anyone that you call out to show up?
I hope, man. I hope. I really hope.
We were going to send out awards to them, right?
Yeah. We were gonna mail them awards, but I was like, that could be borderline harassment. So like, I don't really want to mail them something.
I just think of the Razzies when Halle Berry showed up and she accepted the award for Catwoman. And she was just like, thank you for, I gave it all for this piece of shit of a movie. And I just thought it was awesome. That'd be great if one of these people showed up. You should invite them. Yeah. Have you invited them and told them?
We're going to. Yeah, we're going to send invites out probably this week. I mean, there's some people that, like, I wouldn't mind if they showed up because there's people I've done videos on that later went on to be, like, pretty awesome.
I remember specifically you had highlighted this jacked dude that's always running full speed.
Eric.
That's the one that hits me the hardest.
Yeah, and he owned it and was like, I'm going to check with my guy. Like, I didn't even catch this. And
yeah, he's a nice guy. He's a nice guy. I think he's just, real insecure, doesn't realize, how good he is at this sport.
And he's massive.
Dude,
he's massive.
No joke, probably 300 pounds.
Yeah.
So, and, like, made himself look like 320 pounds.
Yeah. It's like,
I think, bro, what is wrong with you?
Like, you're up here.
You don't have to be that big, bro. You don't have to be that big. That was crazy. He was cool about it, though. He actually texted me. He was like, man, this is mentally stressful. I was like, dude, I'm doing a child molester next week. Don't even worry about it. Nobody's even going to remember this, which is the truth. A lot of this shit is like, if you wait 5 days, I'm going to find, like, something else to do.
They remember, sorry to cut you off. They remember the Sam Canados.
Yeah,
they remember the stuff that's really serious.
Yeah, and I pinned those fuckers to the top. Sam Canado, you're living on my page forever.
Yeah. All right, who's Sam Canado?
So Sam Canado he's an IFBB professional bodybuilder, and I had heard a couple crazy stories about him, and so I sort of logged these things in my head. I actually met him in person at the show we were talking about, the Europa, and he won the overall there, and he had like this crazy meltdown at USA's where he got penalized for having synthol on his delts, which is
oh god.
And he had a meltdown. Like normally, you synthol on your delts, you say, you got me. It's obvious.
For people that don't know what synthol is, if you ever see those funny pictures or videos of those really skinny guys, but they have like inflated arms, that's synthol.
It's oil. It's just an oil that they put in their arms. And it's to fill out, and it has its purpose in the sport. If you have an imbalance or like a short pec insertion or something, you can make that shit look fuller and it looks normal. But then you have like the Sam Canados of the world that try to get everything out of it. And he has pointy shoulders from all the synthol on his delts. Plain as day. The average bodybuilding enthusiast could look at that and know. And the judges give him second place at a big national show. Second place. That's a USA's. That's a accomplishment to get second place at USA's. And he's not happy with it. He thinks he won, and the guy and so I think he's going rampaging on his stories. Fuck these judges, can't believe this, blah blah blah. And I DM him, and I'm like, bro, listen, like you're embarrassing yourself. You have an amazing physique. Don't shoot your shoulders up for the next 6 weeks. Do the next one. You're gonna win your card. Just like show up better and understand that these judges know what they're talking about. I was like, dude, I was in the audience, and I thought, wow, if that guy didn't do his delts, he would have won. I told him that. And he tells me, instead of like, yeah, you're right, man, I'll calm down.
Or thanks.
Thanks.
Just could have dismissed it.
Or just ignore it. He goes, you're a nobody. Nobody cares about your opinion. Nobody knows what you are. Do you even work out? Who the fuck are you? Fuck you. Puts me on his story, puts me on blast. And in the back of my head, I'm like, you're fucked.
Yeah, mistake.
Yeah, I was like, you're fucked.
There's very few people I would want to cross. I think you're one of them. Just because, like.
So I had heard before about that he was inappropriate. All I heard, he's inappropriate with female clients. So this is like
the dude with the OnlyFans. Is this him? Oh my god, I love this. All right, continue.
Nothing wrong with OnlyFans, by the way. And the OnlyFans is probably the nicest thing that we know about Sam Canado. Yeah. Honestly, that's probably the best thing. That is the most honest thing about Sam Canado is that he has an OnlyFans. He's not stealing from anybody on there, and he's giving them, what they asked for. So anyway, a couple weeks go by after this. He wins his pro card. Maybe 3 days after he wins his pro card, this girl DMs me. And she's like, hey, I just tried to hire this guy. I saw you win his pro card. I know you and him had a beef. Can you tell me if this is normal? And it's text messages between her and Sam Canado. And she's saying, I want to hire you. What do you need from me? And he says, you have to send me these photos. And he says, you have to send them without clothes.
No, he doesn't.
He says,
Say it
none clothed. And she
None,
goes,
none clothed?
none clothed. And she goes, what do you mean? He's like, well, none clothed. And she's like, well, like in a sports bra. He's like, no, none clothed. And
It's the weirdest shit.
so what it came down to was he's telling, and she goes, I'm sorry, but like, I'm not into that at all. Like, I don't think you need to be able to see. And he gives her this big explanation. The example he uses is, imagine if you went to a boob doctor and they didn't get to see your boobs. How would they do a good job or something like that? I'm like, why the fuck do you need to see her pussy to know if she's lost body fat, bro? Like, what the fuck? And he tells her, well, if you're not comfortable with that, all of my clients go and buy this particular, he like talks about a particular panty at Victoria's Secret, a particular panty that he is aware of. And my mind is like, bro, if you have this issue all the time with women pushing back on what you need in an intake because it's shameful and weird and creepy, why wouldn't you just stop doing it? Instead, he's like, get the Victoria's Secret panties out. Let's just do that. Like,
Use my promo code.
yeah, use my promo code.
Jesus.
And so that was one. And I reached out to a couple other people that I knew had worked with him. I went to his page. And you know what I noticed about his page when I went to it? There were men and women that he trained. Do you know who was naked in all the photos?
Not the dudes.
All the women.
Yeah.
The dudes are wearing clothes. All
Yeah.
the women, he had drawn like red and white bars over their giblets. And I was like, this is fucked up. This is fucked up. So I reached out to a couple of them, and they all talked. And they all showed me this crazy shit where they would check in butt-ass naked in
So
the
weird.
skivvies. And he would reply and be like, oh, so sexy. I love your nails. French tips, my favorite, nice beanie. Like, motherfucker, didn't you say you needed to check, like, they're between their legs to see if they were fat? Why are you talking about her French tips? Like, what the fuck? And so I put him on blast for it, and it was, like, the craziest video. It was on my old account. It had, like, 200-some thousand views on it. And he comes back at me that I'm a hater. I'm just coming at him because he just got a pro card. I'm making it all up. All the screenshots are fake. And so I do the one video. More people come to me. More people come to me. More people come to me. And just bury his ass. He gets kicked out of every gym in Dallas. He loses his job because there was a 18 or 19-year-old girl that would come to the supplement shop that he worked at. She started getting coached by him. You see where this is going.
Oh, boy.
He was using the bathroom at the supplement shop to take the photos of the girl. And I go, hey, like, did you send him naked progress photos? She said, no, he took them. I was like, what? What?
How can this get any worse?
Dude.
Jeez.
And I'm like, no, what do you mean? And she said she would go to visit him on Sunday when the manager wasn't there, when Sam was there, and he would make her go into the bathroom, and then he'd follow her in, and she'd take all her clothes off, and he'd take the photos on his phone.
How humiliating.
That is, yeah.
Horrible.
Fuck that dude. That's awful.
That was not where it stopped. And then she showed me all these text messages. You can see in the original video if you guys want to see these. All these text messages where he's telling her that he needs to be her friends with benefits because she's having an issue with her boyfriend at the time. And he's like, you just need to fuck me. He's like, you know what? I got a solution for you. You know, like me, I have clients, they have relationship problems. They'll call me sometimes. I'm like, yo, bro, like, here's what you got to do. Or, girl, you know, give him a chance, blah, blah, blah. He's like, here's what you need to do. You need to fuck me.
Yeah.
That was Sam Canado. He said, just fuck me. Like, why not? Just fuck me. And so it was like, I had so many videos in this guy. Like, that was that. And then he made an OnlyFans, like, off of the heels of this. And he makes an OnlyFans, and all my followers are, like, making fun of him for it. They're like, oh, is it none clothed? Like, this is crazy shit. And he makes a big story about it. He's like, you guys are sick in the head. OnlyFans is just a paywall. I'm posting training footage. I'm just doing, meal prep. And then one of my followers actually buys his OnlyFans.
Just
and he's like, got a new butt plug today.
God.
I'm not even kidding. You saw the butt plug thing.
yeah.
It was really bad.
Dude.
It was really bad. So he's, that's what we don't like about this industry.
No, it's
Slime.
It's something I've noticed, especially as the sport of bodybuilding continues to grow.
Yeah.
Is there's a lot of these bullshit coaches that do take advantage of people like that. And the thing is for newcomers, they don't know. Because, like, you can go to a gym like Factory Gym or Big Tex or something, and you see people posing, and they're basically, when they're in their, like, for example, women, when they do the bikini posing, I could see how someone new to the sport would just not question a coach if they're like, oh, I need to be naked or something.
Well,
So it's a scumbag move.
I love that you just said that, and that's a great point because a couple people would DM me, and they were like, yo, like, aren't these women like just as culpable here because they like sent nudes? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? And I have some insight to that. It wasn't just what you said; it was a little deeper. He's not a stupid dude. He's a manipulator, and he knew exactly what he was doing. So these women, all of them, they showed me the text messages. They would say, "Why do I need to be naked?" And he would say, "Oh no, this is just industry standard." And then he would send other check-ins from other clients that were naked and say, "Look, they all send them like this." And he would say, it's funny because, like, you guys should have probably realized at this point that this guy was a fucking idiot. He would say, "Don't worry, I won't show these photos to anybody." It's like, he just showed two people's titties. Yeah, like, come on, bro. But so it's like, you work at Wendy's and you've heard about the bodybuilding world. And you're like, all right, well, I'm in, Dallas, Texas. Let me find a coach. And you find this guy. He's a pro. Okay, he's a professional. And then he works with somebody that you know. You're like, okay, well, that's another point of interest. And then he sends you photos of somebody else. Oh, they're doing it too. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. You don't know what's up. You just paid this guy $300, and he's asking you to do something that's a little uncomfortable. And then he gives you this big explanation about how, boob doctors do it. You're like, okay.
So it's a classic form of narcissism.
Yeah.
And the thing too that bothers me about that, and just that guy in general, is, one thing in the fitness industry I think we can all agree on that we preach is, in order to improve yourself, you have to get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
And so, it takes these newcomers a lot of, it's a big leap for them to jump into something that is probably out of their comfort zone. They've never been on a stage. They've never been, in a bikini or just shirtless or anything in front of crowds of people. And so you take a guy like Sam Canado and you're just taking advantage of people. And now you've just scarred them. Like, you think they're going to want to,
they'll never hire another male coach again.
And they'll never want to, do something that could have potentially changed their life for the better. And
it's what hurts me about this is, like, boil it down. These people came to you for help and you hurt them. These people came to you for help and paid you, and then you hurt them. And it was all of them. Yeah. It was all of them. He posted yesterday a photo of fucking Lee Priest and was insinuating in the caption that it was his client. And it's because he knows who the fuck Lee Priest is, but he knows these people following him don't know who the fuck Lee Priest is, especially a photo from 30 years ago of Lee Priest in a bulk. Yeah. And he's like, I was talking to one of my star clients the other day about bulking and cutting. And he's got the photo of Lee Priest as the photo. Like, what is wrong with you, bro? The fuck?
Today's episode is brought to you by ReGen Health and Wellness. The team at ReGen Health and Wellness is devoted to helping patients revitalize, repair, and renew the optimal blueprint of yourself. They provide an individualized and concierge model of healthcare, empowering patients to optimize their health span and overall quality of life. It's said no one can escape father time, but almost everyone can make the conscious decision and commit to living better and healthier lives. It begins with a mindset. They offer both in-clinic and telemedicine consultations. So whether you're due for a routine checkup or struggling to hit your health and fitness goals, go online or give them a call to schedule your appointment today. Today's episode was sponsored by HulkBuilt Fitness. HulkBuilt is your go-to online coach for weight loss. HulkBuilt serves high-performing individuals who know how to work hard but who are just tired of putting themselves or their body to the wayside. They provide a holistic long-term approach where they teach you how to lose weight and keep it off. HulkBuilt combines fitness, nutrition, cardio, and mindset in an easy-to-follow plan. Now, if you're looking for shortcuts, quick fixes, or temporary results, HulkBuilt is not for you. Why keep trying to put all the pieces together on your own and wade through the bullshit? Instead, simply follow the plan and get results. Your HulkBuilt coach will be there with you every step of the way. If you're ready to take the next step, then go to Instagram at HulkBuilt and send a direct message. If you don't hear back within 24 hours, then all of their spots have been filled. Try HulkBuilt today.
Yeah, and I mean, you nail it on the head. Like, people that don't know anything about the industry are going to just assume that is his client. So
yeah, they're like, oh damn, looks pretty good to me. Like, that is Lee fucking Priest.
So on the topic of bodybuilding, so in my opinion, I think right now bodybuilding is more popular than ever. And I know that some of the stuff we were talking about earlier, but like, what is actually, both of you guys, since you're in it, what is your current outlook on the sport of bodybuilding?
I love it. Bodybuilding is something that I found maybe 12 years ago. And every dollar I have, every friend that I have, everything that I've earned is from it. from the fitness world and bodybuilding specifically.
Likewise.
And it's like, you know, your son kills somebody. Like, you don't just turn your back on him. You're going to probably hire him an attorney and see if you can find out what's going on. And say he did do it and he goes up the road. Like, you're probably going to still send him money and try to help him out. And when he gets out, you're probably going to help him get on his feet again. It's like, it doesn't matter. I love this thing. It can be the sickest, most fucked up, most disgusting thing in the world, and I'm still going to try to do something about it. Everything I own, I owe to this sport. Not the law degree that I have, not any of the schooling that I have, nobody that I met fucking way back in the day, bodybuilding.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you know, I don't care. It's fucking a grimy ass swampy place. And I feel like it's probably a little better in the last year since I started doing these videos, and it'll get better, you know, with time. There's a consequence. There's not been a consequence for this shit ever.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, people probably go, oh, damn, I don't want to be on that guy's page.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I use the term goobed all the time. I'll see people at the gym. I'll be like, hey man, just
Do not get goobed.
don't get goobed.
Be careful there.
And so, but I'd heard, and this is something we mentioned earlier, and maybe you guys can clarify it on or for me, but there's apparently some controversy right now in NPC.
Yeah.
So what's going on with that?
So the Washington Post did an article the other day. There was an article and there was a 15-minute video that went along with it. And they're talking about in 2005, J.M. Mannion, who's the son of Jim Mannion.
I know all of Mannion. Or I've met him.
He's a photographer, and they're talking about how they describe this pay-to-play network. They say, in order to get a placement in the NPC, they rig it. The trophies are rigged. The first paragraph of the article talks about how it's rigged. And you have to shoot with this photographer and do things you don't want to do in order to win. And then you watch their video, and they have 3 women on the video. The first woman says, I did it. I signed contracts with him. And this is an adult engaging in a contract.
There's a video of this?
Yes.
Of
And
people
Washington
talking
Post
about
is
this?
on YouTube. And she says, yeah, I did it. I signed this contract with him. I did all this stuff, and I lost. And you can look up her placings, and she was like in the bottom 3 every fucking show she ever did. She eventually did get her pro card, but it took her years and years and years, and then she was kind of a shitty pro. They go to and so I'm like, all right, so we're talking about pay to play. You did the thing, you shot with him, and then you sucked. Yeah. Okay, well, that doesn't make sense. Number 2 person, this woman, word for word, she says, yeah, he never really made me feel that creepy or never really pressured me into doing stuff. This woman was Miss Olympia that year, 2008.
Who's that?
It was 2008 Miss Olympia figure.
Okay.
I don't know. It was forever.
Because I've met Jim. I've spent time with him.
Yeah.
And yeah, he never gave me any, like, all we ever
He
did.
never asked you to post top.
No. All we ever, I mean, he was always super nice. All we ever did was talk about Batman. He loves Batman.
Yeah.
And like,
We don't even, like, I don't even need to say good things about him. For me, it's
but
like,
that's why I'm saying with this all supposed controversy is super surprising.
my brand though is like, I will never be like, yo, I met this person and I know them. So I'll assume.
No.
anybody's
I don't
capable
care
of
how
anything.
nice someone is.
Yeah.
If you're doing shitty things and you deserve, anybody
Well,
deserves to be held accountable.
Let's keep talking about it. 'Cause
Yeah.
that was kind of my point was, all right, they wrote this article. They interviewed 200 women, right? And the 3 that I'm talking about right now are the best 3 of the 200 women that they interviewed. And so the first one says, I did the pay to play and I lost. So that doesn't really link up with what you said.
Yeah.
The second one didn't do it, turned it down, and won Miss Olympia that year, figure. And then the third one, there's a clip of her, and she also was somebody who lost a whole bunch. She said she did it. And there's a clip of her that they play where she says, yeah, JM is just the greatest photographer. He makes me feel really comfortable, blah, 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 blah. And then they cut to her nowadays, and she says, yeah, I lied. I was just lying when that was happening. And it's like, why would you put that clip in there? Why would you pick this woman where you know this clip is out of there? These are the 3 best people that you have. It gets worse. The first woman that they had was arrested in 2019. She was a sheriff in Las Vegas or something. She got federally charged for a workers' comp fraud claim where she made fraudulent claims about an injury that she had and then got busted for posting fitness content online where she's lifting like a fucking idiot. Her husband the next year got indicted for the exact same
I heard
thing.
about these guys, yeah.
And me, like I'm, a reporter. Yeah. When I get a story, if I'm digging into the story and my fucking star witness has a felony for lying on the stand as an officer of the peace, I'm not fucking using them.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at their story and I'm like, yo guys, like you had 200 people. These were the best 3. This doesn't make any sense because at the end of the day, your story of pay to play doesn't add up. One woman paid, didn't get to play. One didn't pay, got to play. One paid, didn't get to. It doesn't make sense. And you would think that they would have 30 girls lined up saying, I shot with them and I won this thing. I shot with them and I won this thing. I didn't shoot with him and I didn't win this thing. but it never came to light. You're the Washington Post. You have vast resources. Washington Post, if you're watching this, you have vast fucking resources. You're literally journalists. You have a budget bigger than my budget, and I wouldn't have run that story because I would have looked into it more. I would have gotten more concrete evidence before I ran it. And I made this video on it where I was saying basically what I just said right now. Yeah. And you know what they did? They turned off comments on all of their videos. That was what they did. They just turned the fucking comments off. Like, that was it. So they know they're beat. Like, they know they're barking up. James Ayoade Atlas came out with some crazy video where he had a theory on why they were doing this stuff. It was in relation to the Netflix video Killer Sally that just came out. They thought there was some hype there where they could cover like bodybuilding controversy, and then also that the story was fed by a guy named Lee. What is the guy named Lee? He made the Inspire Physique Committee. He was another witness in the article. Have you ever heard of the Inspire Physique Committee? 2015. This guy Lee Thompson is his name. He makes the Inspire Physique Committee. Now let's NPC, Inspire Physique Committee. NSPIRE is how they spelled it. And then there's National Physique Committee, which is JM and Jim Mannion. Yeah. So they sue him, right? For what the fuck are you doing? Lee Thompson worked for the NPC. He said, fuck this, got out of it, made the Inspire Physique Committee, got sued, gave it up. Guess who was one of the people testifying against the Mannions in this article?
Lee Thompson.
Lee fucking Thompson. So I'm like, wow, you just found all their enemies? Like, I never do this shit, man. When I do a story, if I have a reason to dislike the person, I drop the story. There's so many stories and people that I fucking hate, that I personally hate, and have a personal beef with that I won't do. And Washington Post is just like, fuck it. Let's get all their enemies in one room and see what they say and not vet any of it at all.
So in other words, this whole controversy is just bullshit.
It has the potential to be real, but from what they showed, an investigative journalist going on a fucking mission, interviewing 200 women, they were unable to find anything more than sand.
Well, to add, I think it was 2005.
2005 is when these allegations...
Yeah, and they squashed it real quick.
Yeah, because...
Someone's just bringing it back up.
No. For why? And also, it's like they're showing the contract, right? They're like, he made them sign these contracts. And it's like...
I'd heard so many different rumors and stuff, and I don't believe it because I hear so much shit all the time from people. And but yeah, I'd heard anything from as crazy as like kind of what you're saying, like, you know, they signed these contracts and they did these photo shoots just to place or get their pro cards, all the way to like they had to do porn for him and all this. And it's like...
I think at some point they were like, hey, guys, this is a conflict of interest. Let's stop doing these contracts. I think that's what happened because he doesn't do that anymore. He's just the NPC official photographer. And that's like, damn, the purpose of my page is when people do the right thing and change, I congratulate them. Yeah. Well, I don't congratulate. I just don't harass them about it.
Well, and he's always been respectful and nice and supportive of other photographers that show up too. Like,
he got Whitman into the NPC. He got Gilco into the NPC.
Same with Kyle Wurzel, good friend of mine.
Yeah, Kyle Wurzel. So it's like,
it's
to me, there's some weird shit going on. The way these fitness companies are, I won't say shit about it, and I won't tell you nothing about it, but I have a big crazy story on a big fitness organization that I'm dropping at or after the Goobys.
Should do it at the Goobys.
At the Goobies.
I think we're saving a few juicy stories for the Goobys. I think that's gonna be one.
I'll be there. That'll be fun. I don't see why I wouldn't go to.
You must.
I love that.
To the Goobys.
Yeah. Oh, I'll be there. Yeah,
you must.
And so, I guess still on the topic of bodybuilding, what do you think the future is of bodybuilding?
I mean, hopefully not TikTok. You know, all I gotta say is just there's too much infatuation, obsession, and effort going into filming the thing that you're doing and not putting the execution into what you're doing. And that comes for literally everything. You know, there's people that'll do a fucking podcast and not like, it's awesome. I don't know you that well, but you've like researched what I do. This is awesome. I've been on podcasts where it's like,
they don't do anything.
Yeah, the shit goes and they're like, like,
dude, I've had shows like that where I'm like, I'm not prepared.
but I'm sure your level of preparedness was more than some of the shit it's because God, man, like people just don't put effort into the shit that they're doing. And if you find a passion, like run with it. Bodybuilding is something that you're supposed to be passionate about. But there's a lot of people that are like, I love bodybuilding, but what they really like is showing their body and getting likes on Instagram.
Well, and I meet people that say they're bodybuilders and they've never competed or they've never even prepped or anything. And when I worked, I did a lot of work for NPC and just different bodybuilding organizations when I first got started with all this. And I never lie about it. I'd be like, I don't even know what I'm looking at. And I got to spend time with some of the best bodybuilders in the world. And like I still don't even fully understand posing. I don't even know what I'm looking at. It just looks like everyone's just flexing. And
I mean,
they're
I've
doing the same
competed,
stuff.
and
Yeah.
and you know, I coach posing and I train people, but it's like I don't think I'm a bodybuilder anymore. It's like I'm just a guy that loves fitness. I don't think you have to be competing actively to be a bodybuilder. You just have to like the bodybuilding, like you're building your body, that whole thing. You know, maybe the literal term of it is what we need. There's a lot of kids that are just they don't give a fuck about that. They show up the same every single year. They're not really in it to compete. They're in it to make themselves popular. You know, Ross here. Ross is not making, Ross Flanigan, that fucking guy. He's not making a ton of money because he's a bodybuilder. He's making a ton of money because he had a novel fucking idea that was involved in the fitness industry. He sells sauces. He sells a rice product.
I was going to bring that up. So, Ross, with Flavorgang, like, how did that get started?
Oh, God. How did it get started? Well, my wife and I, the amazing Elena, long story short, we opened up a bakery in New Braunfels called Gaines Bakery. Had that for about 5 years. And this past May, we bifurcated, which is a legal term for separated, the sauces we were making for Gaines Bakery into Flavorgang. Because we just wanted to explode.
Yeah.
We had this vision of this company, and I needed to act out my ideas and my creations, and we partnered up with some really amazing people and just sort of went with it.
Well, it goes back farther than that too, because when me and Ross, fun fact, we met each other at our first bodybuilding show. Didn't know the guy. I was there by myself because I had no fucking friends in bodybuilding. He was the same. Instagram wasn't super popular back then for bodybuilding. And I walked up to him and I was like, "You're a fucking douche that has no friends too, huh?"
No. So you DM'd me.
Yeah.
And you were like, "What class are you in?" And I'm like, "Light heavy." You were like, "Thank God."
Yeah, he was one of Boston Lloyd's clients. And I was like, "This kid's gonna kill everybody." he won the overall at that show.
And what's funny is, I showed you. I still have the same ISO bag.
Yeah,
from
the overall
from
win,
like
they gave him a
6
bag.
years ago.
Oh, yeah.
But so, you know, we became friends from that, and we would like do preps and stuff together. And I remember the product that he has right now, which is Gaines brownie batter. We were talking about.
Actually showed it to you at your apartment in Pittsburgh in 2018, and you were like, you called it Dino Sludge.
I think it was earlier than that. I think it was like 2016, 2017.
I showed you how to do it over the phone or something, and you made it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember he FaceTimed me because I'm trying to figure this shit out, and he's like, "You're fucking it up.
Yeah.
Throw it away. You're fucking it up." And I'm getting frustrated. I'm like, "Dude, this is so stupid." He's like, "Trust me. It's really good." And this is like, Flavorgang didn't exist. I don't
Gaines
even
Bakery.
think Gaines
No,
Bakery. It might have.
It might have.
No, it didn't exist because I wasn't at. I remember the apartment I was at when you first mailed me the muffins that you guys were making, the keto muffins. So
Yeah.
it was before that. And he's like, and I tried, and I was like, "Wow, this really tastes like brownie batter." And it's like this crazy concoction that he made, like just because he's a fucking hungry bodybuilder, you know, thinking like, I gotta eat, and stay within my plan. And it's like a macros, it works. And then they started the bakery. They're doing stuff. I remember you mailed me out like all these like keto muffins and shit. It was like this big like unwieldy, like they had no shit figured out yet. They didn't know how to ship stuff. It probably cost them like $40 to send me like $20 worth of muffins, and they were amazing.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, like this is gonna go somewhere. And then he developed the sauces, and it just took off.
Yeah, I've been seeing it everywhere, too.
And what's great about John is I can go to John for literally anything because he's myself and him. We're bonded on the same principle of honesty.
Yeah.
So I can say, "Hey, John, I have an idea. I need to vet it to you. Tell me what you hate. Tell me what you like. Tell me what I need to change." We just did it today. I'm launching a teaser. I'm launching a new company called Ultimate Eats, and our first line of products is called Dough Good, which is a very, very low-calorie cookie dough, and it's insane.
It's fucking amazing.
And so I showed him the design. He's like, "I like this. I don't like this." And I'm like, "Okay." And I took it, and this looks a lot better with your...
Yeah, because I'm not
So,
smoking your pole.
In this industry, specifically, there's so much lacking of that.
Well, he sent me out. I remember, criticize your friends, guys.
Yeah.
If you're
Yeah.
my friend, I'm criticizing you, and not because I'm being a dick, because I want to see you succeed.
Because you care about your friend.
Well,
This
it's
guy-
funny that you say that because I had I've been working with different companies. Like I like to vet different ideas and go over things. And I was with a friend of mine. His name's Raymond Kaminsky. Shout out Raymond and Ibble. But we were sitting down, kind of going over this idea that we had to collaborate on. And I had just mentioned one idea, and he goes, "I'm going to disagree with you, and here's why." And he like explains his alternative idea, and it was way better.
Yeah.
And I go, "Man, that's
Well, people hate that. They're like, "You're my friend. You're a yes man." Ross sends me
Yeah.
right when they came out with the sauces. He sends me a bottle of sweet poppy sauce and a bottle of
The SMV.
SMV sauce. And I go, it shows up in the mail. And I call him. And I got these questions. I'm like, all right, what is this costing? Before I even try it, I'm like, what does this cost? He says, we're looking at debuting around $16 a bottle. And I was like, this is bullshit. Nobody's going to pay for this. Whatever. I was like, but I'll give you my review in a week.
Well, you also critique the bottles.
I said the bottles are
caps,
bullshit. These
the
caps are
labels.
cheap.
Yeah.
And he actually fixed a lot of that shit because he's not fucking.
So I'm a
idiot.
fixer.
Well, no, yeah, you take, yeah.
But I shit all over it, and I was like, this price point is fucked. Like, there's no way this is worth it. This price point is fucked. Hang up. A week goes by. I use the sauce. I finish it. And when I finished it, I live in Manhattan.
Yeah.
This
And
is
I
a
was
great
like,
story.
I'm going to go to, I was like, this shit is amazing. Like, I'm not even kidding you. Like, I'm like, this is delicious. Sweet poppy sauce is my favorite. I have 18 bottles of it in my fucking pantry. It's the best fucking sauce. And I was like, this is the first taste I had of it. And I was like, all right, I finished the bottle. I'm not going to order another. What I'm going to do now is find a like substitute. Like economics. Let's find something that replaces it. And
For
I'm
a
gonna
quarter of the price.
yeah, what's the cost of it? And I was like, I'm thinking $16 is what you're charging for this. I'm going to go to a foo-foo grocery store for $9. I'm going to find something. I'm going to send it to Ross and give him a calculation. I go to every fucking grocery store in Manhattan, every fucking borough in fucking New York City, which is the place.
Huge. Yeah.
You're going to find everything there. I go to every grocery store. I can't find anything. Nothing close, nothing similar, nothing that scratches that itch. And I called him and I was like, all right, it's $16. I was like, yeah. And what do you sell your sauces for, Ross?
$16.
Yep. And do you sell out, Ross?
Yeah.
Yes. And what's really funny is that we sell a fuckload of sauces, but our number one product is the brownie batter. Out
Brownie batter is
What were you
elite.
serving at the factory gym grand opening? Because that's the first time I met you.
Oh,
And
that's right. I did meet you there.
Yeah.
And you pitched a podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think was barely just getting started.
Okay. Yeah. We were serving, was it tacos?
It was. I could have swear it was like donuts too, or cake.
Could have been.
Their donuts
Uh,
are
Could have been
fire.
donuts.
so good, and I just kept eating them. And
I think it might have been donuts.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
If you guys
Because
are in New Braunfels, or if you're not and you want to order that shit online, it's
where they go to order it.
Well, if you're living in the San Antonio, Austin area, we have a restaurant called Gaines Bakery. You can go get the baked goods, the food, all the Flavorgang stuff there in person. But if you want to go, if you're in California or whatever, we ship everything from Flavorgang nationwide, and that is www.theflavorgang.com. If you're in Canada,
Gang.
if you're in Canada, flavorgang.ca, and we are about to be in Kuwait and Dubai and France.
dude, people go nuts for this shit. Like
Oh,
they
yeah.
order.
Well, I've been seeing a lot of bodybuilders or just like athletes in general, like promoting it
Because
or
it's like
talking
a
about
low
it. Yeah.
calorie sauce that you can
Yeah.
literally use all through prep and it doesn't fuck your shit up. I was eating dinner with John Ranieri. He just got engaged
Oh,
to
yes.
his girl.
Congratulations,
and we went
John.
and did a celebration dinner. And he's like, yeah, man, I ordered like 50. And I was
No,
like,
he's not exaggerating.
I know.
He's ordered 58 sauces at once,
yeah.
multiple times.
Yeah.
I was like,
Of
what does
sauces
that
we don't even
sauce
sell.
look like? Yeah, he was telling me. He actually wanted me to ask you about a sauce that he wanted.
It's called Chipotle aioli. It's arguably our best sauce that you've never had.
He literally said, tell Ross I need Chipotle aioli. I don't care what he's got to do. I need 50 bottles. And so just so you know.
I think he's bought, no joke, 150 bottles of that
Yeah.
at $16.
Dude, it's... I wish we would have brought some for you because it's...
I'll order some. I guess
Well, you'll get hooked up at the Goobies.
yeah, I'll be there.
At the Goobies, we're giving away a bunch of that shit. I mean, he's honestly kind of like a drug dealer. Where it's like, no, the motherfucker sent me the stuff for free. And then I was like...
Well, so
where do I get more? I have to buy it now.
My concept with this company was, and everything I do, is to make something so goddamn good that your life literally depends on it.
Yeah.
So when I get these bodybuilders that during preps, they cannot prep without it because their life will be objectively worse.
And anybody watching this that's gone through a bodybuilding prep, you know those few things you find that are like the glimmer of hope that get you through the day, and it's all food related. And you'll find like these
Coffee.
little hacks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a little
Cucumber.
pasty thing, a little 0-calorie syrup that you can like spritz a little in your coffee, and it makes your day like all that better because you can't eat very much. And his shit is like a sauce that makes any dry bullshit.
And
food
what's great,
good.
the icing on the cake, no pun intended, is that the people that are using it are still getting shredded.
Yeah,
Yeah.
literally.
Like, you still get shredded glutes. So you can't say, oh, I have to cut my sauces out because I'm going to get fat. Like, we have pros that turn pro on it.
You turn pro
Yes.
on it.
And I eat it all day.
I remember it was before you had all the sauces together. I walked. Works with Dom Cardone, and I went to one of his pro. He tried to win a pro card, and he got like third or second or something. And I walk into his room, and he's got like it literally. He looks like Tony Montana. There's so much stevia on his meal. Like he just pours like a quarter bag of stevia. It's like a mountain on his shit. And I was like, Dom, do you see this shit? He's like, that's just Ross. Don't worry about it. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, it's fine. He does it all the time. It's going to be fine. I know. He's got like mustard going. He's like making the sweet
This is
poppy
before
sauce.
everything, yeah.
And I was like, let me taste that. I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty good. I understand why you're doing that. Still showed up shredded. And he got his pro card, within the next year or two.
Yeah.
Insane. Absolutely insane. Yeah, the Flavorgang that should change the like.
But it's for everybody, not just body.
Right, correct. Yeah.
I use it, and I'm a piece of shit. I love Ross because
What I really like, John, is when I get pictures of people that love the Flavorgang, and I get messages and pictures of their kids. Like, my kid will not eat any cereal besides Bowl of Gains.
Yeah.
Or they will not eat anything chicken nugget related without the poppy sauce.
I order nuggets from McDonald's, and then I dip them in sweet poppy sauce.
There's nothing like it, dude.
It's amazing.
It's like,
I throw that McDonald's shit out. Like,
it makes fast food, like, to go on John, the other John's point with the Chipotle. Chick-fil-A and Chipotle-oli is from the heavens.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Damn. He's a savage. Literally a savage, though.
No, that's great. And there's going to be some at the Goobys.
Absolutely. We have a whole table that's going to be dedicated to goodie bags. You're literally going to get your money back
So
if you buy it.
you said, I don't know, I could have forgotten. But so the Goobys are in New Braunfels. Where, what's the venue?
Braunfels Convention Center.
Okay.
So if you Google New Braunfels Convention Center, you'll find it. It's
Same
actually a 10
South Cassell Street, I think.
Yeah, something. But it's a 10-minute walk from the Gaines Bakery. So we'll probably be
Perfect.
walking from there because I'm staying with Ross for the few days before.
And that's December 6th.
December 6th at 7 p.m. There's going to be a live stream. If you want tickets, it's triggereddrip.com.
It's also John's birthday.
Oh, really?
That's why he wanted to do it. So it's a Tuesday. He's like, we're doing it on my fucking birthday.
There's two reasons. One, I've literally never had a birthday in my life that I've celebrated in any meaningful way.
Are you Jehovah's Witness?
No, I don't care. It's a fucking birthday. It's I'll get one next year. Like, who cares?
It's true.
But two, Nationals is that weekend. So we couldn't do it on that weekend. And the next weekend, I have some other obligations. So I was like, well, I guess Tuesday, which is December 6th, would be fine because people get home Saturday, Sunday. Monday, they'll recover. And then Tuesday, we're shitting on influencers for like 2.5 hours, bro. We're shitting on them.
Yeah.
We have some positive awards. We're doing Gym of the Year, Trainer of the Year.
Oh,
Angel Competition Bikini sponsored us for an award that we're doing where we're giving away a belt that Third Coast Leatherworks made, which is incredible. I love that guy. He makes these belts like a dude in a cave, like by hand. Literally just like pounds out the fucking shit, cuts the leather.
Oh, those are
He's
the best.
not like CNC stitching. Like he does everything by hand.
Yeah, so this event is going to be highlighting this shit, but it's always going to have a positive twist because that's what we're.
Well, and I mean that's kind of how you end a lot of your videos when you call people out. Is I'll hear you say things like, "Dude, you look great." Like I don't know why you're doing this. Yeah, like you look great. And my favorite term is you're cooking the books. And
so just to jump in here, every time John does something, one of these videos, and even when we've been working on the Goobys, we've always had this same constant theme of objective truth, and we're never putting our opinions and like shitting on people's personalities or anything like that. We're not here to tear them down personally. We're here to expose the lies.
Yeah. I mean, I'll have, because I get sent all the time. I get probably 300 DMs a day. I'm not even exaggerating.
Oh, I'm with you there.
Stories and shit. And people are like, oh, look at this. Yeah. All the time, people, oh, look, she edited her face. Like, I don't care. Like, who fucking cares?
Unless they replace the faces.
Okay. Yeah,
that was my favorite one you did.
The face swap.
That was nuts.
That was nuts. Insane to me. Yeah.
We're talking about a story I did where a girl photoshopped her face.
Our friend, Taylor.
Yeah. Onto a friend of mine's body and was like pretending to be that pro online, which is just fucking crazy. But like tearing people down for things they can't change, like that's not really my bag. It's shit that they can easily change. We had Marissa Mini Beast. She's an Olympian going to the 2022 Olympia. I did a video on her where I did it like, who's that Pokemon, where I teased it. And I was like, I grayed her out. I was like, who is this influencer? She was so mad about it because she had edited her stuff a little. And she actually DM'd me and was like, you're right. I don't know why I'm doing this. I'll do better. And she went on to go win maybe Pittsburgh, Toronto. She won a pro show, and she's going to the Olympia, and she's like 360. Well, I guess 180, right? You go the other direction. She literally turned
360. You're coming right back to where you were.
360. I'm still marching in that shitty direction. But she doesn't edit her stuff anymore. She's a super cool person. She works with Angel Competition Bikinis actually, and she's like, she owned it. Like it wasn't like.
And that's the whole purpose of this.
Yeah, I get these messages from these fucking crazy people. They're like, "Fuck you! If I see you, I'm gonna smack you around. My attorney's coming for you.
You're the one photoshopping.
My manager."
Yeah.
And she was like, "You're right. I need to do better." And that was all she said. And I was like, "Wow, I respect it. Like no bickering, no nothing, no anything." I was like, "All right, I'm done here." Like,
So
that's it.
what advice would you give to someone that may potentially get called out in the future?
I mean, like, there's an easy way to beat me. Just ignore me.
Yeah.
It's just ignore me. Like shit.
You'll move on.
Like that girl that I did yesterday. What's her name?
Bree Hightower.
Bree. How do you know? I don't remember.
I'm prepared, bro.
He did his
Jeez.
research.
Yeah, he did it. Bree Hightower. It's like if she would have ignored me and I did the video, she wouldn't have got video number 2. But she got on her story. She's like, "Look, my ass is real." Blah, blah. She's like in her. It was bizarre. She's like in her thong, like grabbing her butt
So
cheeks
weird
and
to me.
stuff. And it's like, all right, well, if I do one video, I usually have capacity to do 2 or 3, usually 3. And so if you poke the bear again, like I'm just gonna drop that video within like 10 minutes. Like it's gonna be
Or just own it. Say you're sorry. You're not going to do it again, and then the fun's over.
Yeah. If like Marissa Andrews ruined my day. I was like, because I had just done Sunny, and Sunny was a catastrophe. She told me she was going to sue me. She like tried to log in.
I remember I worked the show she did.
Yeah.
And she looks great. So
She's amazing.
It's bizarre.
I was like, you're going to the Olympia multiple times. Like, why are you doing this? She was so pissed. She said, my attorney's going to contact you. And I was like, all right, I'll get her sister now. Let's see what happens.
Oh, fuck.
And Marissa
You mean
was...
Yurishna?
No.
Oh,
Sunny
Sunny
Andrews
has
and
a
Marissa
sister?
Andrews.
Oh.
Marissa Minibeast is Sunny Andrews' sister.
I
And they're
didn't know that.
both wellness Olympians.
Oh, my gosh.
Those genetics, bro. That's why people are like, oh, Sunny has butt implants. I'm like, have you seen? The sisters literally have the same body. They're both fucking jacked.
And if you like see wellness athletes, like the legs are always bigger. Like
they don't have implants. Those girls are just genetic freaks, and they work. Like they're both. Marissa's, I think she's in like dental school right now, plus prepping for the Olympia. Plus, she competed once or twice this year, and I actually saw her in Greece. I met her in person.
Oh,
she happened to be in Mykonos, Greece, while me and my girlfriend were in Mykonos, Greece. And this was the coolest thing because I was like, "Wow, you're such."
Was this after?
This is after I did a story on her. I thought this girl hated me. She actually DM'd me and said, "Hey, I saw you're in Greece. Like, you know, if we see you, we see you." And we just randomly run into her, like out in the markets. We're like, I was like, "You want to get lunch?" She's like, "Yeah." So we sit down, we eat with her. She's like super cool, and she's like, "Hey, we're doing a day party at this beach club. Why don't you come over?" And I'm like, "Okay." And so it's me and my girlfriend, right? And we show up, and it's Marissa and like 6 hot, like 23-year-old girls. And I was like, "Marissa, why are you doing this?" Like, it's me, like the one dude. There's like this giant group of women around us. People are coming up to me. They're like, "Bro, what do you do?" I was like, "I don't know any of these people." Like, I'm
Call
just here-
people out. Yeah.
I'm like, "I'm just here. These are my friends. I don't know them, but they're super cool people." Though, like, she's just a grounded individual, and she was, the influencers get influenced sometimes, and she was doing this shit to keep up and whatever, and get the more likes.
I have noticed that with a lot more like veteran-based competitors, is they start doing these silly like TikToks, reels, videos, or they do like I guess kind of in your realm, like they Photoshop a lot of their stuff, and I'm like,
you don't have to do that.
and I understand it, but yeah, they don't have to do it, but they're trying to continue to remain. They don't want to become irrelevant, and I think that scares them because it comes down also to identity. They've always had this identity, and then to have that eventually stripped away through age or just really aging out of bodybuilding might terrify them.
I mean, the answer is like novel content. It doesn't matter what the fuck you look like. Ross could literally be a 120-pound, not shredded at all, random dude.
John, I am.
And if he's putting out the sauces and the shit and the quality of the products and marketing it in the way that he does, people are still going to buy it. My shit, I'm not a fucking fitness, and like nobody recognizes me for what I look like. I posted the other day this funny video of me benching, and I had like 275 for like 15 or something, and people were like, "You work out?"
Oh yeah.
As you can. You should see that as like one of these people that edits your shit and realize that like there's a dude in the fitness industry that's making waves that it has nothing to do with his body.
Oh yeah. I get
People-
shit all the time. People expect me to be like some like diet genius or a competitor is shredded, and then they see me and they're like,
You're doing something novel. You got us in
Yeah.
here. You have this beautiful, venue that you have to do this shit on. You put a big event on. And all that matters is just, did you have a novel idea and did you execute on it? So when these people think that, I'm going to edit my shit a little bit and that's going to get me popular, you're going to get a vapid fan base of people that don't really fuck with you.
well, it's kind of like the Spider-Man quote, with great power comes great responsibility. And I mean, but it's kind of true. It's like if you become, if you all of a sudden are now in a position where you can influence others or, potentially help other people, like you have the responsibility to remain authentic and be honest and not do shady Sam Canado shit and, Photoshop your stuff and things like that, because people, like you had mentioned earlier, like are looking up to them.
And it helps you too. If all of your brand is the way you look, you have the weakest fan base in the fucking world of bodybuilding. You don't have passionate people. They know nothing about you. They know what you look like, and that's it. You post the shredded photos. Oh, you do like a 3-week thing where when you're shredded, you take 7,000 photo shoots and you bleed that out over the year. Nobody really knows you. They're not going to fuck with you. Like Ross has some crazy diehard fans that just know his like crazy weird humor and his like Flavorgang stuff, and it has nothing to do with the way that he looks.
Movie trailer voice.
Yeah, it's like
Fantastic mustache.
Every human being, there's like a crazy amount of depth to them, and these people don't ever get into anything other than, this is what I look like, and this is what I look like, but I'm going to make it a little better, and I think that's going to get me the edge. Yeah. When if they just turned the fucking camera on and said something, contributed something, built something, made something, give something to the industry that you love other than a photo of yourself that's edited.
Or your butt.
Yeah, your butt is there, but like, what did you do?
So many asses now on Instagram. It's like,
you could go win everything in the world, but if you're not an interesting person, nobody's really going to fuck with you.
Well, and it's with that too, it's like, it comes back to what we were talking about earlier with social media. It's like, I get people all the time that want to come and do this podcast. Yeah. And I'm very picky on who I want on because I want interesting people. I want people that I can have a conversation with or, that are doing stuff or,
you fucked up because me and Russ.
Yeah, not doing anything. Yeah. No, I was so pumped. But they, I get people and I'll ask them, I go, okay, well, what do you do? And it's the cringiest answer. They go, oh, I'm an influencer. Oh my God. Yeah, for reals. And I go, oh, okay. And me and Julia Renee were talking about this. And she'll say, okay, what do you influence? Yeah. And then they don't have an answer. And and then I'll okay, do you own a business? Are you a trainer? This? And they're like, no, I got 100K on Instagram.
70,000 followers. Yeah. How does that sound?
And I'm like, okay, so what are we gonna even talk about?
Yeah,
like,
that's bullshit.
I already don't like you. And
a company called Bacon and Barbells. They sent me
it's a dope name.
Bacon and Barbells. They make t-shirts and merch and stuff. They sent me this funny shirt because I'm not an influencer. My bio says your favorite influencer's least favorite influencer. But they sent me a shirt that says, I may be a piece of shit, but at least I'm not a social media influencer.
Oh, that's who sent that to you?
Yeah, I was like, that's amazing.
Yeah, man. I don't ever identify myself as an influencer. Like, I'm a business owner. Yeah,
but think about if the fitness industry were awesome, we'd be like, yeah, we're influencers. Yeah. But it's like, no, the people that you associate mentally with influencer are shitfluencers. That's why I call them shitfluencers.
It's a great name.
They're fucking terrible.
You know what we need to do? We need to coin a new term.
Shitfluencer?
No. That's the what an influencer represents, but in the good way.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Well, TikTok tried to make creator, which I like. Creator's kind of cool.
Yeah. Well, so when I used to advise for like different, like when I get hired out to do consulting work for companies, and they would be like, okay, we need to get brand ambassadors, this and that. I'm like, first off, do not call them brand ambassadors. I was like, just call them athletes. Yeah. Like that's so much better. Brand ambassador is a really worn out term that no one takes serious. So.
You're right.
Yeah, and a lot of people now are, Gymshark athletes or Alpha Elite athletes and things like that. And but even that's starting to get worn out because now you got all these,
First
nobodies that are just doing it.
It's like so confusing. First form, there's legionnaires, and then there's like elite athletes, and then there's like one other tier, and I
feel like the only people that even know are the ones that are in first form.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know what the fuck
I use first form as an example a lot on Genius Marketing.
They're great.
Because supplements at the end of the day they're not really that different, but those guys did an amazing job.
They all get made at the same spot.
Yeah, they have like they own like the distribution, the production facility, and like the wholesaler. Like it's all like
Well, I just mean in general, like supplements, they're supplements, not substitutes. They're going to do the same thing regardless. Like there's not like a pre-workout that all of a sudden is going to make you so much better than, say, a competitor. But the point is...
hold on. Let me interject. What do we talk about today on the best pre-workout?
Craze.
No, having a fucking high horsepower sports car and driving as
fast as fuck to the gym.
I used to own a C7 Corvette, and Ross came and visited me once, and I was like, check this out. And we got in it. I live in Pittsburgh, and we went like 130 like through the Fort Pitt tunnel, just fucking blazing. He's like, that was a fucking amazing. And it's like, what, 3-4 years later, and he just bought a Corvette.
Oh, shit.
And so he just got to drive me in his Corvette, and we did like...
Sorry to interrupt.
No, my older brother would love that. My brother's like a car fanatic. He loves driving. He races too. So,
but we're doing like 150 here, and I look over. I'm like,
no wonder you got here early.
Yeah. That's why we're here.
And he's like, yeah, this is what I do pre-workout. He's like, I drive to the gym like this,
screaming. No, that's actually good. Do you guys remember Craze back in the day? Me and my buddy Parker used to take it, and you'd be up for like 2 days. You'd be sweating. It was like around the Jack area.
Did you buy it like in front of a 7-Eleven?
Was it
like a
might as well?
Was it in one of those like locked cases in GNC?
I don't know. This was probably 2011, 12 area, and that's before they really like.
I remember Hemo Rage.
Yeah,
that was
the Jack 3D. It was like what everyone remembers, but Craze was pretty bad version. But kind of back on the first form is like they were one of the very first companies that created like community versus just brand ambassadors.
Yeah.
And, you know, they gave people incentive. They made you feel like you were a part of something. And
those people are ride or die too. When I did the first form stories, there were, because usually it's like you look for the simps in the comments and there's like 2, and it's like, all right. But first form had like all the Legionnaire people that are like, yo, they gave me a code, I will die for these people. I was like, holy shit! Like, damn, they're really riding for these people.
I want to have Andy on the show. I've hit him up a few times, and I think it'd be great. Like, I heard he does them for free. He has like a whole thing.
Ask him about me.
I'll use you as a reference. I'll be like, yeah. So the Goob told you to come do
or
it.
do a special appearance.
What's fucked up is like I watch his stuff.
I want to do that so bad. I thought there's so
the
like,
door opens. I'm like, hey.
Andy, you've been goobed.
He's like, why is there another mic set up here?
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry about it.
No, I've had opportunities where I'm like, oh, I could have someone in here and then just get their like arch rival, but
like
I'm
a Sting. I
don't want to be that guy.
I like all of his stuff, Andy Frisella. Like the stuff he puts out, like his personality stuff, his podcast and stuff. That was why I was like, I'm going, because I go at people I like all the time, and it's because I'm like, yo, you could change, you could actually fix this shit, and the way I got to do it is kind of like nasty, but it's like, damn, everybody can look at a big company and say, hey, they had a Photoshop scandal, and how did they handle it? They renewed contracts, and they started chopping fucking heads off at anybody who violated the contract.
The Photoshop clause was really cool. That's a cool
awesome.
thing. And the fact that he listened and responded. That's why when I do business with companies, I don't want reps. I want the person that can make is in charge to make a decision for me. I hate trying to jump through hoops and go up the ladder.
Some watered down shit. Yeah, you know,
it's so frustrating. So, but no, I guess kind of on the end of that then. So before we wrap things up, final reminder, Goobys.
New Braunfels,
December 6th.
December 6th at 7 p.m.
That's a Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday. It'll probably go to 10:30. We got a ton of content. There's free shit, goodie bags from the Flavorgang.
Is there a dress code?
It is.
Yes, the dress code is none clothes.
None clothes.
Please wear clothes.
Yeah.
We don't care what the fuck you wear. We have 2 beautiful headline sponsors. That is Forever Young Las Vegas and Amino Asylum. If you guys know what those companies are, you're probably a bodybuilder. Yeah. And Fat Polly's Cookies is the official baked good of the Goobys. We may have some of those there. I think that's the plan. And then we're going to have a bunch of Flavorgang stuff as well. So it's going to be a fun time. If you miss it and you wanted to live stream it, it's going to be available for purchase afterwards. But the best
ADL's doing it.
ADL, yep.
ADL's going to host it. It'll be up for a little while, and then we'll probably eventually put it live on my page or something like that. But
and there'll probably be like I hate to use this word, meet and greet.
A meet and greet? Nobody cares.
I was going to say, are you going to have any guests?
No, just us.
I mean,
you are the guest.
Literally, this whole show is, we have our executive producer, John Stewart, and then this fucker, and then me. And that's literally it. It's 3 guys.
I think next so hopefully this goes well. Next year we're going to put some Trent on it.
It's gonna have a whole bunch of bovine trend.
Yeah. God.
Yeah, our hopes are that we sell a ton of live streams, and all the money that we get from that is going to go into a bigger venue, probably in Austin or in San Antonio. Get a
Yeah, I'll help you guys out.
easier draw in the crowd.
I know how to do that stuff. That'd be fun.
We walked into
I
the best podcast
Yeah.
today. This guy's like,
just-
I just put on an event of 6,000 people on it. Yeah, no worries.
That was fun. I'd start planning that one soon. And you guys will have to come. Maybe we'll have a Flavorgang booth. You
I
guys
would
come
love that.
over. Amazing.
We'll give you some security just in case.
You know what though? Like I go to shows all the time, and I've had a few people that came up to me that were mad, but like they're always like, this one kid, Dorian Franges, I did a story on him, and I saw him at Dragon's Lair when I was in Vegas.
Okay.
And he was like with all his boys, and I was talking to Craig Goliath at the time, and he was like with all his boys, and then they like started to walk towards me, but all his friends like broke off to the right, and he broke off to the left, and he like walked by me. And I don't know if it was intentional. I assume it was, but I think he was gonna walk by me and think I'd be like, but I grabbed him. And I was like, yo, I just did a story on you, didn't I? And I was like, what's up, bro? And we talked, and he was like kind of mad about it, but we talked, and he was like, yeah, I understand. He's like, I'm just a footballer, like a soccer player.
Yeah.
And I was like,
they can only be mad at themselves.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
He was a nice kid though. He was a nice kid. I could tell he was like super pissed.
Well, yeah. I mean, no one likes to be embarrassed, but
Yeah, poor kid.
well, I mean, we'll definitely run it back here soon. Ross, we'll do a show with you too.
I
Have to
would
get
love
you
that.
on there.
I'd love that.
I'm so excited to get this back going. I've been missing podding. And so
Did you call it podding?
podding, yeah.
Podding on a Tuesday.
Podding. Yeah, so no, I appreciate you guys making the trip out here. I'll definitely put the Goobys on our events tab on the website.
Amazing.
And, I'll do whatever you guys need help get the word out. I'll be there December 6th,
Yes.
New Braunfels Convention Center.
Oh my God, it's gonna be a fucking landslide.
Ugh.
It's gonna be fun. We're giving out so many crazy awards and like crazy
Yeah.
shit.
I'm gonna send me a list of some of the people that are nominated. I'll see if they want to go.
That would be great.
I've been doing the file transfer. I was up till 6 a.m. last night transferring files to an SD card we have to give to the ADL Pro guy. There's 180 videos that are going to be a part of the show.
Yeah.
180 videos. That's a lot of fucking people. If all them show up, I guess we sold out, huh?
Yeah.
Can you imagine the only people that come are people I've done stories on?
Just get booed the whole time. I mean, that'd be awesome.
That'd be great. I'd
why not?
actually love that.
But cool. Well, on that note, we'll run it back in the future, and this is definitely fun. So,
Thank you, sir. For
all right,
having
boss.